Welcome, everyone. Hope you're having a good day. I've got Mark Rader with me. He's
Hey,
a
what's
friend
up?
and not only a friend, but also an associate in Tristan and Associates. And he's also helping us out on the coaching side, which we don't usually start with this, but as we're growing, Mark, what do you got for us? Because you wanted to talk about coaching, and we never talk about coaching before we get going.
Yes. So, we love doing this. We love being here with you guys. We love giving out free information. It's wonderful. One other thing we love to do is we love to dive deeper, and we love to jump on a more in-depth level with you, whether that be Tristan's personal coaching, right? The Don himself, or it be social media with you and Jeff, right?
Yeah, Jeff and I
Yep.
do Social Genius together.
That's awesome. And then I actually do group coaching as well for newer agents or agents who just want to jump in to kind of get like an overall sense of how to revamp your business, scheduling, scripting, cold calling. There's so many different things. So we encourage you to click that link that someone in our team is going to send out in just a moment here in the chat, and see if there's anything in it that you might want to jump on. Group coaching, the whole package, which we actually just adjusted, which is pretty good deal in my opinion. So check it out. And then Monch, can you drop the link in the chat? There it is. Look at that. It's like magic.
I like it. All right. With that, let's get started. Let us know what city and state you're from. We always like to know. Mark is literally across the room from me. What's up, Mark? How you doing over there?
Hey man, can you keep it down?
You know what? You need books in your background.
All I have is just like equipment, dude. I do. I need books.
That's so good. All right, let's continue our conversation from last week. If you missed last week's conversation, I'm going to dump it right now into the chat group. If you're on Zoom, it's going to be there. If not, we'll put it into the other channels right there. This is going to be part 2. And while we're doing this, Mark may ask a question here. It'll pop up on your Zoom. But the whole idea behind this is we're going to continue what worries you, masters you. Last week, I think we were calling it what worries you, creates you. But check this out, Mark. With the help of ChatGPT, I decided to write a whole book. And
Yes.
What worries you, masters you, right? I'm like, you know what? That conversation last week was so good. 14 ways worry can take over your life and how to fight back. And I've got the table of contents right here. So this is what we're going to go. But dude, I outlined this whole thing.
Wait,
ChatGPT is really helping me out.
No way.
Yeah.
So what are you using?
Well, hold on. I'm using GPT-3, which is part of ChatGPT-3. It runs the back end of it. And what I'm doing is I'm just prompting it, and then it gives me ideas. And I'm like, that's a really good one. And I go past that. Right. So if you're using AI to be able to build the things you're building, when we're building text, emails, blogs, you name it, we're even coding some things now. Just make sure to change it up and make it your own, because that really is the key to all of this. Right. But that's what we're going to talk about. And these 14 points that I came up with, it was originally 8, and then I expanded on it based on our practices and what we've done. And so I think we left off on self-doubt. That was number 7. So if you're chiming in from last week, Alex, is ChatGPT paying membership? No, there's still a free version if you can get in. And it's for those of you who don't know what it is, openai.com. So you go to openai.com. And then I will show you really quick. There's a paid version. There's a free version. Here's what the paid version looks like. You got ChatGPT Plus, right? And then you can put all of the stuff you want over here. And there's also GPT-3, which is platform.openai.com. And then you go to Playground. This goes a little deeper. You can change up the items over here that you want. This is what Jarvis runs off of. I'm sure all of you have heard of Jarvis. Well, GPT-3 runs Jarvis AI. So there you go. This is the granddaddy of all of them, or the grandmommy, whatever you want to call it, grandmommy, granddaddy. Right? There you go. With that, I'll go back and we can talk about where we left off. So the idea behind this was we all in real estate, we come across all of these worries, and they come in different forms. And if we don't grab a handle of them, they can then spiral into anxiety, into deeper form of stress that then creates depression, or what we see, burnout. We see that a lot. It's like, I'm burnt out. I just can't handle this anymore, right? All of that distress. So, Neum, I think that's how you pronounce it. Neum, we'll dump the chat GP3 link open there, but I think it's just Mach, it's openai.com if you want to put it in there so people have it. And then Jacob's on if we want to promote Jacob on. I think, do I have to promote you, Jacob? I think, do we? How do we promote Jacob on?
Going twice.
There we go. Panelist, promote the panelist. Hopefully I promoted the right Jacob. If not, we'll see. So let's continue on number 8. Number 8 is probably the biggest one, because the reason most of us come into real estate or any business is for financial freedom, right? That freedom we can gain through having our own schedule, but more importantly, no ceiling to the amount of money that we can make. And number 8 is financial stress. And I think we talked about it a little bit, but money worries can really take over our thoughts and really impact our daily lives. I don't think we talk about it enough, because I get to see it on the other end where now you haven't paid your taxes, so you're 2 years behind, right? Now you thought you were going to make a certain amount of money, but you're not making it. And now you're behind on payments for whatever it is. It's your house or your car or anything else. And that's a real stress. The challenge is, besides making more money, that's the easy one if we apply ourselves right, making more money. The challenge is dealing with that ahead of when it happens. And also, like, how do you deal with it as it's happening? Because if that's all you're focusing on as it's happening to you, you're just going to spiral into being out of this business. And I've seen that as well. I mean, Mark, you get to talk to a lot of newer agents and agents that are just getting started off of coming off part-time or in the coaching program that you were at. What do you see as being the biggest problem when it comes to money and that financial stress?
Yeah, this is a hot topic. I see this a lot. I see the biggest things are that agents who are in this scenario, they have this thing that we call, commission breath, where it's just pretty much money hungry, right? Because you're so stressed about making those bills, making that payment, getting your first deal, making sure that you can pay your mortgage, right? And it gives off a certain vibe that is a really big turnoff to a lot of prospects, and people pick up on it. And I think the biggest way to, from what I've seen and what I teach, is to get out of that is to really lean into being genuine. Lean into being genuine, because if you are yourself and you're not focused on what's going to happen in the next 30 days, the traditional time it takes to get, a closing, it's going to pay dividends for you, because you're focused on right now, you're focused on you, being you, and servicing your client. And I know it's a lot easier said than done, but it must be done. Otherwise, like Tristan said, and it's very true, you will fail if you just don't tap out of that mindset.
That's the mindset part. And I think on the financial part, where we don't take the time to itemize the things that need to be done, like making a budget. I know it's a challenge to start with a budget, because you don't even know how much money you're going to make the next month or the next 3 months or 4 months in some cases. But it's important to start with a clear picture of, okay, how much money do I have and how much money looks like is coming in? I think you have to make sure you include, what are my fixed expenses, like rent, right? And mortgage payments, if you've got one, and food, how much you eat, right? So that is important. Number 2 is, I think, create a saving plan, because in real estate, we have these ups and downs. Like every month, you're not just going to make 20K a month. Sometimes it's 7, sometimes it's 30. So on the months that you do better than normal, that go way above your budget that you created, I think that's when you go and say, got it, now I'm going to save a certain amount. But the thing that we do is we forget that we're not going to make that amount. So what happens during an amazing year like 2021 for a lot of you, 2021, now it's like you bought a new car. Wait, no, you bought 2 new cars, right? You bought a whole bunch of shit you didn't need. You bought a PlayStation and an Xbox when all you needed was a PlayStation, right? You bought a whole bunch of other stuff that really you didn't need. And the challenge with it is you never had a clear budget as to what that looked like. And James says inflation has made it even more tricky to budget as well. That's so true, James, because the things we could afford before, we aren't able to afford as much, like eggs. And I love eggs, right? So
and I want to say another thing too, and with that, Tristan, is yes, it's extremely important to budget and know what money is coming in, what money is going to be going out. But for those of us in this scenario right now who don't have the money to pay for mailers or coaching or whatever it may be, well, guess what? It's not about your resources. It's about your resourcefulness. I've said that before, and I mean it. Now, what I mean by that is, look, today, right here, what we're doing right now is absolutely free. So what you take from this and how you apply it, these weekly sessions, is a resource for you. And how resourceful you are with that is up to you. We could have someone, Agent A, in here listening and has a completely different outcome than Agent B who is in here listening. So you have to be resourceful. And then once you have a deal come in, delegate some money to invest back into yourself, right? Be smarter with your money and your closings when they come, because they will be coming.
yeah, they will be. Here's the other part of financial stress and that anxiety you get is that when you write down the action steps that focus around the things that you're actually going to do, you take control over the things that you have control over, because the worry is going to be there. It's like, yeah, I don't have money. My bank account's negative, or my bank account's just enough to cover. The thing that'll make you feel better and create momentum is those small things that you write down and saying, I know what my plan is. Let's focus on, Jacob, for you, relationships. Let's focus on more relationships. What is that going to look like on a real estate side? Well, it means for you, you're going to have to go play more pickleball, right? You're going to have to, seriously, you're going to have to do, instead of doing the 2 hours, let's go 3 hours. Why don't we find a place that brings a lot more people that I can connect with and make friends with, right? You texted me out of nowhere that you're going to go to some celebrity's house and play another celebrity in pickleball because of that pickleball relationship thing. So it works for you.
Yeah.
If I go to Mark, the thing I'm thinking for you is on your expertise, it's probably going to be along the lines of either social media or online lead generation, because you're so great at online lead converting as well, right? Besides relationships, I just wanted to pick something different. And the key is really focusing on the things that you can actually take action on. And a lot of us don't do that. A lot of us start just focusing on the things we see right in front of us, which is the problems. I don't have money. Great. Now I'm going to go be sad. Now I'm going to get more anxiety and get depressed. And I'm going to get angry at everyone who talks to me. And I'm going to have commission breath. So it's a big piece here. I'm not going to spend the whole time on it. But Jacob, anything you want to add on financial stress and financial anxiety?
No, I think you guys nailed it. I think financial stress and anxiety it's one of those things that I wish people were more comfortable talking about. And that's why I think it's really important. Like you guys had said, this conversation is so great, but no, you guys nailed everything. I love the openness from everybody.
Yeah. The other one is social anxiety. You get 2 different types of agents that love to talk and go out and are the life of the party. And just, I feel like they love events. They love dinners. They love playing pickleball with a massive load of people. And then you have the opposite, which is the introverts, the people that when they go out, they like it, but they don't gain energy. It actually uses up their energy when they're around that many people. And that creates social anxiety for some of you. And I think you have to guard for that as well. One thing that we don't talk enough about is that, because everything that we're told to do coming into real estate, Mark and Jacob, it goes right into social anxiety for introverts, which is door knock, cold call, open houses. I feel like this business is designed to destroy the introvert, right? And for me, because I'm an introvert, as you know that, it's tough. It like goes against everything. It's like I have to take it in little spurts. And it's great once I get to know you. Like I love both of you guys, Jacob, Mark. It's easy for us to go and do this. But when I'm not in an element that I feel comfortable in, I feel like it's draining and I have to put on a face. It's like, and that part is the draining part for me. And the fact that I started with door knocking and cold calling and all of that, I felt like it was eating me up, even though I was great at it. It was just eating me up. So I slowly had to change out and say, well, what do I feel comfortable with? Because I don't like this social anxiety. I feel like it's going against everything I am. And I don't know if either of you feel that. So Mark, Jacob, how do you guys feel? Because I think you guys are great with people overall.
Well, here's the thing, like for those who are, the extroverts, like, yeah, we could sit here and talk all day about, events and going out and networking and so on and so forth. But I want to take a moment and I want to shift to the introverts. Now, for those who are introverts, there's something that I kind of just thought of right now that is on my mind. And that's, you can still do events and client parties and client events and so and networking events that pertain to more of an introvert, because we attract what we are genuine to, right? Like ourselves, right? So you could do something like, I don't know, perhaps like a movie night or like a meditation group or a book club or a painting class or any art class.
Everything you just mentioned, I'm like, no, definitely not. I don't even want to do that stuff. It's sure. Not easy. I'm just telling you.
Let me ask this. Okay, Elena says that this business is so tough.
I'm just saying. Social. Jen, I agree.
Okay, Elena, what activities do you like to do?
Sometimes
I like to hike, like to do whatever. Like what is something that you like to do? Type in the chat. I'd love to know. Yeah. Because
I'll tell you, Mark, hold on that, because I feel like on the social anxiety part, although I'm great in person and talking to people and we connect and create relationships. And at the end, I'll tell you this, at the end, I'm like, damn, that was good. Right. But then at the end, I also feel like, damn, I don't want to do that again. Right. I also feel that. I think that's why I've gravitated over to social media so much, because it's allowed me to be able to grow on what feels like a one-to-one, because when you're watching me, Mark, to you, it's one-to-one. Jacob, when you're watching me, it's one-to-one, right? But in reality, it's me doing it to many. And whoever I attract based on the conversation, I'm attracting. So it's a lot easier for me psychologically to take control over the social anxiety by doing it through social media, right? So
there's a solution right there. It's for someone who might be an introvert, social media, right?
Yeah.
And I agree. So my point though is that there's so many different avenues in this business to where the word social is in it. Social media.
I like.
You don't have to be like client event and stuff like that. To be honest, I don't really do client events. I play pickleball. Like Jacob and I will play, and Tristan and I will play, but I don't really do the whole like social events and stuff. I just don't.
Guys, do you want to start selling paddles since all we talk about is pickleball? Because I'm down. Jacob, where's the link?
Like a paddle.
Jacob, where's the link?
I can put a link in the chat if you need to.
I'm trying to hit on everything in writing this. I'm trying to hit on everything that we don't talk about, because I think part of the real estate world on what we take on for teaching and helping people grow on a coaching level, on a one-on-one consulting, on even a group setting, we never talk about those integral pieces to what it really takes to grow in general. And part of that is your physical well-being that's connected to your mental well-being, and that has a lot to do with sleep. I know that we've talked about sleep, all three of us, in different forms, right?
What is that?
But lack of sleep, huh? What did you say? What's sleep?
What's sleep?
Who sleeps?
You're funny. Lack of sleep is really the cause of a lot of the issues that we have. And I was interviewing a doctor this morning for Success Magazine. I'm trying to remember her name, Jackie. I'll give you her name if you want to look it up, because she also has a great book called A Deliberate Calm. Jackie Brassey, that's her name, Jackie Brassey, out of Luxembourg. So I had to interview her early. She said that the challenge with sleep is that people don't understand that as you sleep and you take care of the body and the mind through recovery, because that's part of recovery, 8, 9, 10 hours, whatever you sleep on. The fact that you're taking time to recover mentally and physically means that you're allowing your body to be able to grow better when you're feeding it the right thing. So for instance, guys, we're sitting here on a coaching session. The people listening in will either be more receptive to what we're saying based on where they are mentally and physically than those people that are barely on here, just making it. They're tired. They're anxious, they're stressed, and what resets better than sleep? So I think we don't talk about that enough. Tristan, it's not out yet. This one was about being calm with this specific doctor, but I did do one on sleep earlier on. So I'll put up the link. Monch, can you put up the link to our podcast for Success Magazine there? I know we have them in there. But what do you guys think on sleep? Because I know all three of us have had challenges with sleep. So Jacob, you take it first, man.
So this is honestly the most relevant thing. I think I talked to Tristan and Mark a lot, for the people that are listening, about a lot of my stress and anxiety. And most of it comes from when I have a really hectic social week, and I don't sleep very well. So I actually, oddly enough, I don't know how many of you guys do it, I wear an Oura ring that tracks my sleep cycles. So I get all my data and analytics of my sleep schedule, and I could show you, like, 5 out of 7 nights of the week, I get red notices that say I'm sleeping horribly. So I'm working on it, but it's called an Oura ring. It's Oura here.
You put the link up?
Yeah, I'll drop a link in the chat for everybody. But it helped me a lot with my anxiety to realize, like, a huge part of my lacking in my day-to-day work is from a horrible night's sleep prior. And once I started seeing the data and analytics behind my actual sleep, I now have been sleeping more, because it actually notifies me when I should be going to sleep based on my body temperature and my physical activity. And I've been doing a lot better.
Well, part of that, Jacob, is awareness. A lot of us just don't know, right? That sleep deprivation not only causes you to think less clearly, but it also causes heart disease, stroke, obesity, so many other challenges here. And we need to talk about it more in real estate, because real estate is the one business where I don't know when to stop. Like, I literally keep on going. It's 11 p.m. and I'm still going. There needs to be a stop. Mark, how do you put a stop to it so that, besides falling asleep on your computer, how do you put a stop to it so that there's some type of a winding down, a transition into your evening?
Yeah. Well, some of you may hate to hear this, but I pretty much close my eyes and will fall asleep in 20 minutes. Like, I'm out like that. I can be on my phone, or I could be doing whatever, and then all of a sudden just lay down in bed and be asleep in 20 minutes. And I know a lot of people are like, I hate you. It takes me 2 hours to go to sleep.
I sleep like that.
I'm like, oh, I got to get up in 7 hours. I'm going to go to bed right now. And I just pass out. Done.
Oh,
I've witnessed
and And, I notice that I go into REM really, really fast too. Like when I go to sleep, I am going to sleep.
That's good. I like that.
Like,
Well, let's talk about some really quick routines, because I know we're running out of time, but routines into transition into an evening so that you can recover better for the next day. Right. And these are things that I've added into my life over interviewing and talking to some amazing doctors, researchers. I was talking to a Nobel Prize. That would have been great. Nobel Pie.
Dude, Nobel pie. I would like one of
Nobel
those.
Pies are the best. Nobel
Is it
Prize
banana? Is it chocolate? Is it?
on this, which was great for me. And then I applied some things. I think for me, I needed to set alarms to stop at a certain time. But what I kept on feeling, and I know you feel the same way, I'm not done yet. Oh, there's so much more to do. So what I started doing is, as soon as I could, I started bringing in help. So whether it was a virtual assistant, an actual in-person assistant, admin, and then giving them things that I'm not so great at that would take me longer to do, and that also don't fill my cup with energy. I want to focus on the things that I'm great at, right? And that give me more energy to keep going. So that I started doing. I would ask, people listening in right now, look at the things that you're not so great at, that you feel like you hate, that you have to continually do, and start seeing if you can outsource some of that. It starts easy with a TC, right? Both of you have a transaction coordinator.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the easiest one that you can start with. So, very good. Who's got an Oura ring? I see something up down there.
Sandra said she's in the 90 score for sleep, which is incredible. I'm in the 65 to 70.
Okay. Well, let's end with this one, which is technology overuse. Spending too much time on tech, it actually leads more to stress and worry, because a lot of us go on tangents, right? We start one place, and then we end up over here, and then we end up over there. And then by the time we're done, our focus was gone away from where we originally started, right? That's what I found look, everything I'm telling you guys is because I've screwed it up royally. So that's why I'm so great at this.
I want to say too, for those, like for the realtors in here who, when we're all prospecting, like one thing that's really distracting is whenever you get, a text from a friend, or like, you get like a text from a client that you're in escrow with, it can wait 30 more minutes until your prospecting is done. So my best suggestion is put that thing on do not disturb and just rip those calls and go, because whatever it is, it can wait for 45 minutes. It can wait for a half an hour, because that problem is still going to be there. And honestly, it actually might resolve itself in that 30, 45 minutes. And they'll be like, oh, never mind. It's all good. We actually, never mind. False alarm. So do not disturb during your prospecting time. Take control of your schedule.
I love that, man. And then we can stay on that for a long time, but I want to shift over, whereas we're a little over already. But letting go of the past, holding on to past events and experiences, that'll keep you in a state of worry continually. And I don't know, other than pure experience on letting go and taking action on where you want to go, that has been the only thing that has helped me over the last years of having to worry with past, because I had a lot of past experiences in real estate specifically that have burned me badly, and continually focusing on those things would just stress me out even more. So what I realized is, let's say I go to you, Jacob, and I'm like, okay, Jacob, here's our plan, right? Here's what I'm going to focus on for 2023 for the month of March and April. This is what I want to do. And these are the next small steps. I think that creates clarity and direction, and eliminates some of that worry and stress you had on the things that are really bringing you down from the past. Thoughts on that?
I totally agree.
Mark, you're thinking.
Yeah, I think there's a reason why I love car analogies. There's a reason why your front windshield is so much bigger than your rear view mirror.
I like that.
Mic drop moment.
I like that. All right, let's just round the last two guys. Relationships. We can spend a whole session on relationships, but relationships.
Happy Valentine's Day, everyone.
Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Thank you, Mark. That was really good. I think relationships is probably the key to your success or your lack thereof. And it can really bring you down, or it can make you or break you in this business. And the relationships that we often talk about are business relationships, but I want to focus really on the personal relationships here. The personal relationships are sometimes the things that bring you down, because if your shit's broken at home or on a personal level around your friends, then that extends into your professional level. And we don't talk about that enough either, because if I'm worried at home, I'm worried because something happened at home and I don't have my shit handled here, right? Then it's going to bleed into everything I do out there, and people are going to feel it. So I think you either need to cut those relationships that bring you down continually on a personal level, right? Or just get to it and fix it. Because if you don't start now, it won't be fixed a year, 2 years from now. And don't expect it to fix overnight either. This thing got broken slowly. So it's going to take some time. I think that's the biggest challenge, thinking that we can turn around these relationships that we're just like, oh man, how did it get here? It took time. And it's going to take time to rebuild back if you want to focus on this. Relationships, guys, what do you guys think?
Yeah, they're great. I think it's such a big,
Happy Valentine's Day.
I mean, I don't know. It's such a big thing. It's like, it's relationships at home, like you said. It's relationship with your clients, relationship with friends. I mean, if you don't have that in check, then you're going to be in a world of pain. So,
right. I also think it's understanding the relationship and what the relationship brings. Like you said, Tristan, there's relationships that are beneficial, like they bring you up, and there's relationships that bring you down. And the quicker you understand what relationship that is to you, the quicker you can either fix it or trim the fat.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's very true. On a personal level, I mean, geez, take care of yourself first and make sure that you're healthy enough mentally, physically, to be able to show up your best self for the people that you love the most. Because if you're not, that's where this all starts going south, guys. This whole relationship thing with the people that we love and with ourselves. Last one is distorted thinking. Distorted thinking. I try to find a better word for it. So this is probably like an interim phrase, distorted thinking, but it's more along the lines of cognitive distortion, your cognitive dissonance, your biases, just the patterns that we have to associate negativity to things that we interpreted as negative. Oh, I didn't get that damn listing. Oh, you know what? How come Mark got the damn thing? Mark? Or Jacob got that buyer? What?
Yeah.
That's distorted thinking, right? Which can go into whole Carol Dweck growth mindset, fixed mindset. But distorted thinking is a challenge because this is how we're living our life, and this is how we're interpreting everything that's happening to us and around us. So what's the first thing that comes to mind for both of you when I say distorted thinking?
Resentful comparison.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a
That's
lot.
what comes to mind.
Yeah, and that can happen a lot on social media, dude. Right?
Dude, it can't, very much so. Because all you're seeing on social media mostly is like everyone's like their best days, or like the best of the best, or it's stitched and cut to be perceived as something that it's not quite always. So I think knowing that is like a good filter to have whenever you're looking at the stuff, social media and whatnot.
I like that. How about you, Jacob? And then we'll end with you.
I thought of it more as like a I don't even know, dissociative thoughts, almost like how you, like you said, how you relate things. Like for me, fear of flying, I think of the facts of it. So I try to flood my mind with facts versus the actual fear. But
true.
it's a cognitive switch in thought instead of the negative perception.
I like that. I like that. And Ruth says there's a whole list of cognitive distortions. Yes. And she thinks we all do it. I think, Ruth, you're a very, very intelligent woman. And I enjoy our conversations. So thank you for that. She says reading the list helps us to recognize when we're doing it. And I agree with her. I'd love to see that list, Ruth, if you can find it before we wrap up here in the next minute. But awareness, I think that is a big key to everything that we do. The awareness of just knowing that we're worrying and identifying what the real reason is, accepting it, and then having an action plan. All of these worries, they start going away the moment we feel like we have actual control of something. And the only true control we have is of our actions, right? What we think and what we do. So this is why every time all three of us get together and we're like, all right, what's the action plan? Okay, postcards, awesome. Pickleball event, going to happen, right? And online leads, awesome. That's what we're going to work on. And then we have an action plan. We feel so much better. Like we have direction, we have clarity, right? And Donna, control is total illusion. I agree with you. But we've got to use that illusion to take us out of the illusion of just feeling stressed out from our distorted views. So I love that. I love that. Thank you for bringing that up, Donna. I really love that. Jared says, shoot.
Well, go ahead. Well, I was going to say, Tristan mentioned two things. One is the report on fears, and then also the link to the worry report. So can we hook her up with that?
The worry report. Geez. Are you talking about the book that I'm writing on this? That one will probably be out sooner than you think because ChatGPT helped me. And Tracy's going to edit it with us. So that'll be good, Kristen. You'll see it over the next few months for sure. And look, if you guys all haven't tested out artificial intelligence, please do so. It's going to change the way we do business. So just jump on that. And guys, we have we're way over, but next week we have 2 topics.
Yes, put it to a vote.
Mark, throw it up there because I still think we have almost everyone left from when we started.
Right, cool. So we have option 1 is 10 reasons why agents stay below $100,000 a year in commission.
Okay.
Option 2 is 5 habits for the rest of this year. That's a little vague, so I'll go into it a little bit. Writing down your goals, visions, journaling your days, establishing healthy habits, positive thoughts and replacing the negative ones, so on and so forth. So
okay,
that one, healthy habits, or
5 habits, or
10,000,
or 10 what?
Or 10 reasons why agents stay below 100K.
5 habits or 10 reasons. I guess it's 10. That was actually pretty good. 5 habits or 10 reasons. What do we got?
Number 3, my lord. Pick number 3. That's hilarious.
That was good, Trenton. Dude, I'm looking at 5 habits and then we'll do the 10 one. How's that?
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of both, but I actually, Kristen says both. I'm seeing a lot. It's pretty even, but I think 5 habits may beat it.
All right. 5 habits.
Kevin, thank you. Number 4. Thank you.
Kevin, I love it. All right, guys. Next week, 5 habits. The week after that, the 10.
Cool.
You got it? All right. Jacob, Mark, thanks for being on.
Later, guys.